Hello, my name is Jennifer Wallace, and today I'll be presenting on goal number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets are a comprehensive, far-reaching, and people-centered set of universal and transformative objectives. The United Nations Forum has committed to working tirelessly for the full implementation of this agenda by 2030. We recognize that eradicating poverty in all of its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty, is the greatest global challenge and an indispensable requirement for sustainable development. We are committed to achieving sustainable development in its three dimensions: economic, social, and environmental. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development tackles this challenge through its Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. I will be focusing part of this presentation on Target 11.1, which is to ensure access for all to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. According to the UN Habitat Global Activity Report from 2015, in the last century the world has been rapidly urbanizing. In 2008, for the first time in history, urban population outnumbered rural population. This milestone marked the advent of a new urban millennium, and by 2050, it is expected that 2/3 of the world population will be living in urban areas. Rapid and unplanned urban growth threatens sustainable development when the necessary infrastructure is not developed or when policies are not implemented to ensure that the benefits of city life are equitably shared. Today, despite the comparative advantage of cities, urban areas are more unequal than rural areas, and hundreds of millions of the world's urban poor live in substandard conditions. In some cities, unplanned or inadequately managed urban expansion leads to rapid sprawl, pollution, and environmental degradation, together with unsustainable production and consumption patterns. In an age of rapid population growth, it is important that city planners understand the various ways in which housing and built environment affect health. Substandard housing affects multiple dimensions of health. There is evidence that, in part, poor housing conditions contribute to increasing exposure to biological, chemical, and physical hazards which directly affect psychological and biochemical processes. In addition, concerns about substandard housing and fear of homelessness are psychosocial stressors that can lead to mental health problems. Decent, affordable housing is critical for families' economic stability as well as for their health. Affordable housing allows more household income to be allocated to pay for healthcare and healthy foods, which leads to better health outcomes. The stability of having adequate, safe, and affordable housing promotes mental health by reducing stressors related to moving and giving a homeowner control over their environment. Housing and built environment have strong correlations to mental well-being. Communities with perceived social disorder have higher rates of depression and anxiety. Adults who live in neighborhoods that they perceive to have strong cohesion are buffered from daily stresses and reported better physical health. Studies show that social cohesion of a community is dependent on the quality of a neighborhood, which can promote social interactions through public spaces and facilities. Urbanization and industrialization has gradually led people away from living in natural environments and depriving them of the health benefits of nature, such as natural light, green views, local biodiversity, and natural landscapes. Biophilia is the idea that all humans have an innate tendency to seek out connection to the natural world and other forms of life. Many studies have also shown that direct experiences of nature form a foundation for a sense of stewardship and active care for the environment, which is vital for the protection of a life-sustaining planet now and in the future. As a public health concern, it is important to protect and restore people's access to nature to alleviate health problems such as depression and stress, promote well-being and happiness, reduce mortality, and decrease rates of obesity and violence. In addition to the overall well-being of the community, the integration of nature into building design of towns and cities will improve health outcomes. Biophilic design can reduce stress, improve cognitive function and creativity, improve our well-being, and expedite healing. Biophilia is the underlying theory that proposes that nature is a significant predictor of happiness. To the extent that nature-relatedness can cause happiness, it might be an important tool in promoting environmentally sustainable behavior. That is, some people might be more persuaded to protect the natural environment by understanding how connecting with nature can contribute to their personal well-being. By spending more time enjoying and connecting with nature, their motivation to protect it might again increase, ultimately supporting a cycle with benefits for people and the environment. Worldwide, 1.2 billion people live in extreme poverty. This means that they may have little or no access to safe housing, clean water, basic toilet facilities, or any health care. Educational levels in poor areas are often low. Poor people have a shorter life expectancy than wealthier people, and more mothers and children die in poor areas than in richer areas. Each year, 9.7 million children worldwide die before their 5th birthday. Those who are economically disadvantaged are more likely to struggle with the social determinants of health. The World Health Organization defines social determinant of health as the conditions in which people are born, grow, work, live, and age, and the wider set of forces and systems shaping the conditions of daily life. These forces and systems include economic policies and systems, development agendas, social norms, social policies, and political systems. Community development planners should give special attention to the economically disadvantaged when designing the built environment of a neighborhood. Providing adequate, safe, and affordable housing to those living in poverty should be top priority. Solutions to making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable must be designed at the community level. One strategy is community-based interventions. Community-based interventions stress the importance of building community capacity, using social ecology as a framework for driving change and promoting public health values. There is an intersection between cultural norms, social groups, politics, economic patterns, and resources that all contribute to create a distinct environment in each community. The community then becomes the expert. There is no other expertise that is more effective than the community itself and the unique group of people who are part of it. One example of a community-based intervention here in Vermont that specifically addresses the need for adequate housing is called Project Vision in Rutland. Project Vision has taken leadership to build healthy neighborhoods that support the work of law enforcement. In 2014, a grant was given to remove or rehabilitate vacant and blighted structures to restore a sense of pride in the neighborhood. The group felt that community infrastructure is a necessary foundation for crime control and substance abuse efforts to be effective. The committee is dedicated to increasing owner-occupied homeownership. Furthermore, they have set a goal to reduce the number of vacant homes to open up space to be turned into a playground or green space. In 2015, another initiative was led by the Vermont State Treasurer and the Mayor of Rutland to provide lending capital for home rehabilitation loans and home purchasing assistance financing. The goal of the investment is to boost home ownership, encourage landlord code compliance, and promote private investment to make Rutland a neighborhood of choice. I support Sustainable Development Goal number 11. Sustainable community development and management is crucial to the quality of life of all people. It is my recommendation that the best strategy to achieve Goal 11 is a community intervention approach that focuses on building community capacity to provide adequate housing and green spaces that connect people to nature. By 2030, it is our hope that all cities and human settlements are inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. I have provided additional resources on housing and health, biophilic design, and urbanization. Thank you.